Well, hey, everybody. Yeah, welcome, welcome. We got a minute or two of the pregame show to this week's happy half hour, you know? We always like to get on a minute or two early because there's all these delays and who knows, you know?
But it is now officially 4:30.
It's officially
our
4:30.
happy half hour. What happy half hour is this? Amy just told us and I already forgot.
So Amy, what happy half hour are we up to now?
We are in week number 24.
24.
Week 24. In case you know, Amy is the person behind the scenes that does all the work making this work. So, 24 weeks. I'll tell you. And Sam, you have an interesting shirt on or sweatshirt on today.
Well, I was going to change, but I decided to stay casual because my husband brought me home a Waterline Brewing sweatshirt yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's really comfortable. And look at this, it has two different little pulleys, which is cool. So, which is segueing into what I'm drinking. I have it in a pint glass, but I'm drinking Waterline. This is their cool looking crowler. This is actually what the back of my sweatshirt kind of looks like. This is their English Crushable IPA.
English Crushable IPA?
I didn't name it.
Is it, I guess because it's in a can or why is it crushable?
Well, crushable is a name that, the kids use today to say like, you could drink a lot of it easily.
Oh, okay.
Crushable is like, I could knock back a lot of those.
See, where you hang around us, we're going to educate you into the latest, young people's lingo. Yeah, crushable. Okay. Yeah, Waterline, by the way, if you're not familiar with it, the bridge between Wilmington and Leland is practically underneath. They have, I think they still have farmers markets there, and they're going to have they got a lot of outdoor area. They're going to have, I think, a Christmas craft fair there. So it's a place with relatively safety. You can go.
Yeah, they're doing a really nice job. They have, on a nice day, they have lots of outdoor tables and they have table service, beautiful beer. They have lots of live music out there. I think they're actually having on Sunday a charity event. One of their owners has been in the ICU in really critical condition for, I think over a month now. So they're actually having a benefit for him on Sunday. So, but they're a really great place doing great things in the community. And if you are somebody in Leland, it is like a really great in the middle, right in the middle area. So go check them out.
I've done a couple. I played Dulce.
Wait. I'm going to chime in really quickly and say I know Mark is actually a personal friend of Matt and myself, and he is an amazing guy. He took a little turn he had a really bad update this morning, but fingers crossed. Hopefully he is amazing. If you ever get a chance to meet him, he's most wonderful man.
Oh, good. I've played dulcimer there a couple of times, so it's been cool. Well, let's see, we got some Miranda has checked in.
Hey, Miranda.
And Cindy is here with a glass of Malbec. Yeah, Brad is here.
Hey, Brad. And Wanda. Hey, Wanda.
I was just talking to Wanda. She's, and
Sally. Hey, Sally. Oh. And Eric loves Waterline. See, he knows what's up. Waterline actually just won Wilmington's first GABF medal. It's the Great American Beer Festival. It's like the Olympics of beer, and it's Wilmington's first medal. So go to Waterline.
Their Kolsch is really good. They've got a delicious Kolsch, and it's not high in alcohol, and so you can feel free to drink more. You get these high alcohol beers, they get you in trouble, so, but their Kolsch is one of our favorites. My wife likes their Kolsch. And of course I'm drinking my normal herbal tea, just to stay sober, so.
So Dad, what day is it today?
I don't know what day. Amy, what day is it today? Amy knows that.
It is National Make a Gift Day.
Make a gift day.
Oh, so like by hand. Daddy, you've made me a few gifts by hand. It's been a while.
Yeah, I haven't done pottery since
Yeah,
this COVID thing, but you know, it
some of
just
my best pottery has been from him. I've been begging him to make me more vases. During Christmas times, Neil and I have made we've liked to make Kahlua. We actually would get decaf coffee and make a decaf Kahlua. Now that we're all old and we can't handle that much caffeine that
Oh my
late.
gosh, Sam, I am drinking some of your Kahlua. Okay, wait, I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna show people real quick. Don't judge me, but I'm drinking a little pseudo White Russian right now, and this is with your Kahlua.
small world, small world. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but if those of you who've been in the office have probably seen my pottery around, it sort of looks like Klingon art, most of it, you know, but it's another story. That's another story. Yeah. So who else has joined us? Where do we leave off?
Lynn, nice to see you. Lynn, I see you all over Facebook. I see you just like posting just really nice things to people. Like you're on a lot of my same Facebook groups, just like spreading joy and love everywhere.
And
really
Bob and Dan are here from the mountains. It's good to hear from them again. And
Diane and Rick
and Diane. Yeah.
and Rick and Pat and Dawn. Nice to see y'all.
And Carol Ann.
And JP, y'all got some pies, so thank you. We had such a nice time with Pie Day. It was man,
for those of you who don't know, for each year we have given our clients 2 pies, and we've had a party in the office. We filled this room with chairs, and all day people coming in and out. My wife makes her cider. She's got the cider with, the secret is you add maple syrup, and it's to die for, you know, and it doesn't take much to satisfy you. But I thought this year our bakery went out of business, and we can't bring everybody in. And I was thinking, well, maybe we shouldn't hold it because it's not going to be the same, and people would miss joining. But we did, and Amy found us a great bakery, and we moved up. And what we had to do is people came through the parking lot, and we put the pies in their trunk. They put their sign up, and we all had masks, and we did like 170 cars in 5 hours. It was
yeah. So
and everybody enjoyed it. I think it felt good.
Yeah,
it felt
we
good.
hope that y'all liked your pies. My husband and I ended up bringing home 2, and we still have a bunch of pie in the fridge. I think that we looked at ourselves last night after, over our bowl of pie, and we're like, we've got to throw it out today. So I think we're done. We're finally done eating pie. But I was really pleased with what Mama. Oh man, I always forget her name. Amy, what's it? Mama
Rocks dessert truck.
Rocks dessert truck. They also own To Go Boys, which is the New Orleans Cajun food truck as well. They did a really excellent job and were really nice. So if y'all came out to Pie Day, thank you so much. We hope that your pies were delicious and you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And if you did not make it to Pie Day, we hope to see you again. Hope to see you 2021, and we hope that it can be inside and more intimate than this year.
Good fun. Well,
Susan, it is totally fine that you're here with Sherry. You can sip on whatever you have and whatever makes you happy.
Wait, we have a question. I'm going to put this in there. Wanda wants to know if David went to pottery in downtown Wilmington at USO.
I did. I went to pottery at the Community Arts Center. Actually, I took pottery there 35 years ago, before Sam was born. My wife took pottery there, and then I took it with Hiroshi. If any of you remember Hiroshi, he's still around, or still. Oh, he's been very ill. And Dinah Wild Ramsey, who is, I think, since passed, but or maybe not. But I took it years ago, and then I got back a few years ago, and man, I just love pottery. It's just so forgiving, and it just opens up a 3-dimensional creativity, and so yeah, I took it there. It's just a great space.
Yeah, Wanda, if you have friends that go to pottery, chances are that they know my dad, because he's the kind of person that is difficult. Once you've met him, it's difficult to forget.
And she's reminding us that they're having a pottery sale there Saturday.
Ooh.
And if you're looking for Christmas presents, boy, you should go down there Saturday. It's a great to give handmade presents, and you can get price ranges, from $5 to $500, and support local artists and potters. Okay, I'm going to wax poetically about this quickly, but then we got to get down to work, because people come here to learn, but
yeah, they want to know about the wrist number, Dad.
yeah, one of the things I learned years ago, even before I took pottery, I'd hang out with people. I remember going up the mountains there was a group of potters just on the east side of the mountains. We went to a kiln opening and we had a great time. And I used to have a friend who I since met through this pottery, a young guy, played the bouzouki, played like the Irish mandolin. And, he threw commercial pots. There used to be a commercial pottery up in Ogden near where Ruth's restaurant is. And it's just like all the potters I met were such nice people. They just were good people. And I don't know whether, either, just to put it frankly, whether, assholes just don't take up pottery, or if you're an asshole, pottery fixes you. But without a doubt, potters were just great to hang out with. And I've had so many good nights at pottery. I go there just as much to sit and talk with the people than I do to make pots. And like I said, we've kind of held off with COVID, but I look forward to getting back. But anyway, my little pottery story, rambling about pottery and potters.
Right. But shop local. I think go check them out on Saturday if you can, and shop local whenever you can.
That's right.
So Dad, let's get into it. So what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about kind of understanding and measuring the amount of risk you're taking with your investments. Because all investments, most investments in the stock market, kind of things that can go up and down, things that can go down, especially, have a degree of risk. And they also have a return. And how do you compare the two to know if you're doing a good job? And there is some interesting stories there. I'm going to go up to the board here for a second, or for a while, to help explain this. So let me go up to the whiteboard here. And I'm also going to ask some questions for those of you out there. If you are an engineer or a mathematician type, I got a question for you. But if you think about it, if you look at an investment where this is earning zero and this is negative returns and this is positive, if you were to make any investment that was earning a certain amount, say, I don't know, 8%, it's going to have really bad years and really good years. I mean, it's going to go up and down. You think of the stock market this year, it was up, fell 30, 35%, came back up. And so you have what I might call wobble. The investments go up, the investments go down. And mathematicians, statisticians have a measurement for the amount of wobble, a fancy measurement. If you know what that is, type it in. If you're someone knows what the statistical measurement for a system that's fluctuating, what they call that wobble, how they measure it, type it in. We'll see if anybody gets the actual name for what this wobble is.
The word for the wobble.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if anybody.
Has anybody it's got to be somebody out there. I know there's some engineers. They've already told me there's some engineers.
Cindy says standard deviation.
Who did that?
Cindy. She said standard deviation.
Very good, Cindy. That is there is a measure called standard deviation.
I knew, Cindy, of course you know that. I knew she
Bill knew it too.
Good, because I know there's some engineers out there should know, you know, engineers, statisticians, actuaries. You know what an actuary is. It's someone that didn't have enough personality to be a statistician, right? But they call it standard deviation. I think they sometimes use an abbreviation called sigma. It's a measure of how much wobble there is. Now, there are really bad years and good years. If you want to capture about 95 to 99% of the data, how many standard deviations do you have to go out on either way to capture it all? Does anybody know that? How many measures of standard deviation do you do to capture the really good and bad years in the wobble? See if anybody can get this. Well, this is a heavy mathematical. I'm getting heavy here today. You know?
I know. Usually you ask just the easy questions.
Yeah. Anybody got an answer there?
So how many standard deviations?
Cindy says 3. Don says
very good.
6.
And they often call that 3 sigma. If you go 3 up and 3 down, you get you pretty much capture all the really good and really bad years. Now,
so they were both kind of right.
Yeah. Now, that brings us to this guy here.
Man, he is concentrating so hard.
He is. This guy is, his name is William F. Sharpe. And Sharpe has an E on the end. He was born back in 1934. And he is still alive. He is, I think, 86 years young. He was a professor at Stanford. And in 1990, he won the Nobel Prize for Economics for some of the work he was doing. Equally interesting is he started a company, actually a couple, but he started a company called Financial Engines. It's kind of a robo-advisor, you know? And he sold it, I think 2 or 3 years ago, for $3 billion in cash.
Oh, that's why he looks so confident.
Yeah, the guy sold a company for $3 billion, won a Nobel Prize in economics, kind of guy that, you kind of knows what he's doing, you know?
Yeah.
And he, what he did is he said, if I'm earning so much, say 8%, and how do I relate that to the wobble, the variation? And so what he said we're going to do is we're going to take the return and we're going to divide it by the wobble. I'm going to keep using the term wobble because I hate to use fancy terms, but he divides it by the standard deviation. And that gives you what is known as the Sharpe ratio. Now, if you think about it, what you really want is you want a big return and not much wobble.
Yeah.
So anything bigger than 1 is good. You want higher numbers. Things less than 1, things smaller are bad. So you can relate the return to the wobble with a thing called the Sharpe ratio. And it gives you a pretty good idea. One of the things, and I'll show you in a minute, one of the things we look at when people come to us, we look at their portfolio, we'll run it through an analysis to find out what their Sharpe ratio is. Now, just to be a little more technical, it isn't just the return, it is the excess return. He's saying, we need to compare the return to what you could get in a risk-free investment. And a risk-free investment that he defined, the one he uses or is typically used, is a 3-month treasury bill, not a bond, but a bill, where you give them money and 3 months later they give you a little more. Right now, the 3-month treasury bill is at
What is it?
0.09%. It's
Whew.
earning less than it's earning less than a
Less than a
tenth of a
tenth of a
percent.
Wow.
So for all intents and purposes, I mean, I was in a few. The long-term average is more like 4%, but it's much worse now. So anyway, so this is his measure. So let's go look at kind of an output of what this may look like and delve a little bit more into it. I'm going to go back to the screen now.
Okay.
And I'm going to share. Start here. This is a measure. What we did is we went and we fed the. In fact, let me go back to my picture here so you can see me talking. This is we fed the S&P 500 into it for, we just took the S&P 500 biggest stocks.
Hey, David, I just
yeah.
want to let you know, we don't see you. We see the whiteboard and your presentation. Just want to let you know that.
Okay, you don't see me. I see me.
Oh, okay. Wait, whatever you did, you fixed it.
Okay, yeah, that's the delay. That's
got it.
delay.
Okay. Just
Okay.
wanted to make sure. Sorry about that.
Okay, keep us straight. Keep us straight. You can see that the standard deviation or the average return over 10 years was 14%. The standard deviation was about 14, and the Sharpe ratio was 1. So the Sharpe ratio over 10 years for this was 1. By the way, to get technical again, if I do it over a shorter period, over 3 years, it's not 1, it's 0.67. It's worse. Over 5 years, it's 0.86. It's only over 10 years, it's 1. So again, it depends. To compare apples and apples, you got to be sure you're using the same time period and things like that. Those of you who are into math and engineering.
Dad, I was just thinking about this, and I was thinking if you went over 10, I bet that the Sharpe ratio would go down.
Yeah, because we're starting
in 2020 now, so we don't have 2008 in there as well. We don't have 2000. So we just have the bull market of the last 10 years in here.
Yeah. But it is a nice way to compare one to another. So
absolutely.
Yeah, let me go down here and look at the Sharpe ratio. This is a Sharpe ratio for someone who we just started. We just met about a month ago. We analyzed their portfolio. They got about $750,000, and it's in a mixture of stocks and bonds. Okay, and you can see the average return is about 9, but the standard deviation is 10. It's got a Sharpe ratio of 0.82. So let's just think about that for a minute. Let me go back to the, Let me go back to the big screen and draw that out. So if we think about this couple here, they're making about 9% over 10 years. But a really bad year will be 3 standard deviations or about 30 down. So they're going to be down to -21. On a really good year, they'd be up, plus 39. So they got this big variation. Think about it. If they have a really bad year and fall to -21%, they fall 30%. How long is it going to take them to dig back out? Back in 2000, the market fell, and realistically took about 13 years to come back. Now, we had a big drop this year. We've come back real fast, but that's not always the case. But you can see, wouldn't it be interesting if instead we could do something like, let's say we only got 7%, but now our variation was much less. We had a much higher Sharpe ratio. And so a really bad year wouldn't take as much to dig out of. And this is what a good portfolio design does, is it helps you figure out how do you get, by looking at the Sharpe ratio, we can tell, one of the things we can tell, is the portfolio well designed? Will it be more robust in good and bad years? It's not unusual to see some that are 1.3, 1.4 or more. But like the one we just looked at, I can tell that whoever built it, man, there are more things about it than that. Wasn't really designed very well. So that's a little bit of how the Sharpe ratio works with stocks and bonds and things. So,
hey,
I
Dad,
have a question. Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
No, Amy, you go.
Well, this is just me being me. So, David, you're talking about like stocks and bonds, but don't we do a lot of things with like annuities? Like, what's the picture here?
Well, that's a good question. And that's actually rather interesting. Let's think about, we use a lot of fixed indexed annuities. There are annuities where they take the money, they put it in bonds, and they bet the interest on the market. And if they win, they put it back. And if they lose, they lost the interest, but they didn't lose any principal or other locked in gains. So it can't have a negative year, can't go down. So what they do is they say, okay, here I have X% growth, and I don't have anything below zero. I've eliminated all the negative. And a system becomes more predictable when you can't lose money. And now if the market crashes and all I do is I don't make any money that year, I don't have that hole to dig out of. And so that's kind of, you can get you a better picture of how this risk can all work. So, okay. How are we doing for time? We're getting close to the end. We better get to the fun part. So, oh, by the way, I should mention, if you are a guest here, if you have, if you're joining us and you'd like to find out what your Sharpe ratio is and see a report like that and a lot more, if you come to our happy half hours and laugh at our jokes, I assume you're laughing at the joke, we'll do that for you. How can they get in touch with us, Amy?
Sorry, I was actually swallowing my drink. They can give us a call at 910-815-3100. Or what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a link to your calendar directly here in the comments. And if they want to click that link, they can go ahead and schedule it on their own without even having to call us. Yeah,
it's pretty cool to see the analysis. There's a lot more than that we can do. And and by the way, if you haven't, remember to go to rogo.com. There's a whole lot of videos we've done, things from workshops I've done at UNCW and Brunswick Community College. We put them in little 10, 15-minute bite-sized chunks. So that's fun too. Or you can call that number and get a hold of us. So I'm going to go back down now. And Sam, what's the fun part now?
Okay, the fun part. The reason why y'all are all here, and we know this, the reason why I come every week is just kidding, is our wine giveaway. So each week, as many of you know, we give away 2 bottles of wine in a raffle. This week, this is my container.
The raffle container changes every week, it seems.
I like to get creative. This is I'm watering this plant right now that lives in here, so I decided to spice it up a little bit and use this for my raffle tickets. To enter our raffle, there's numerous ways. Reply to any of our emails that we send to you saying enter me in the wine raffle. You can send us an email with a potential topic for another happy half hour. Send us, say, hey, I want to enter the wine raffle. Here's a question that I have. You can refer us to a friend you can forward an email on and just let us know that you've done this. You can start, whenever you're on one of these, you can start a watch party. Or which, when you're on one of these, Dad knows how to do this. You share it, start a watch party, and then just let us know you've done it. During our happy half hour right now, if you've been asking questions, Amy has been writing all those questions down into a spreadsheet, and I put you in for next week's drawing. So pretty much any way that you can get entered, we enter you. We want to give away wine, and it's going to be delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. Fermental is located in Ogden. They're a great local business. We really like to support them. And I know many of you that are on here right now have already won. So without further ado, this is my favorite part.
I know Matt, yeah.
This week's winner, don't want to drop it, I'm going to break it, is Mary and David B.
Okay,
So,
well, congratulations.
Congratulations, Mary and David. You've entered a number of weeks in, I've written your name down a lot, and I am very pleased to send you wine. So congratulations, and everybody else, continue to send in your questions, send in your emails, refer us to your friends, tell them to watch our Happy Half Hour, and we would love to give away wine to you as well. I guess now we've given away almost 50 bottles of wine. Next week we will give away, it'll be 50 bottles of wine we will have given away.
We got to think of something fun for week number 26. Because that's like halfway. That's half the year, right?
Yeah.
It's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is half a year.
We should like powwow on that one.
Yeah, well, cool. And
time flies when you're having fun.
And we're going to have to sit down and figure out what we talk about next week too, you know? So always send in suggestions, what you'd like us to cover and things like that too. So, and let us know how this went, you know? Was it sometimes a little technical, but I think it helps people understand the risk, understand things. So we try to be, keep it light though. So, okay. And just hi to Patrick and Lynn and Bill and Brad. I don't know who else we've got. So we had a chance. Sometimes we had a chance to say hi to everyone. Other than that, we will see you next week. We got a couple more, and then we're going to have. It turns out that both, I think, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve fall on a Thursday. So we'll put up a little surprise quickie, but video, but we'll probably not have a serious happy half hour. People will be happy enough those days. Okay.
I think so too.
Well, with that, everyone, it's been great. And cheers.
Cheers.